welcome back to the first and worst clock review channel on all of the internet, space, time and the universe. Probably, don't quote me on that. Today I'm going to be reviewing a 1960s masterwork of cheaply poorly made Japanese technology, and well, it's just terrible, but it looks so cool. So here we are, Ferguson radio alarm clock, battery powered no less, and it's only missing 2 of the terminals that have completely rusted out. That's why. Okay, just gonna go on a tangent here. Don't leave your batteries in your clocks. They will corrode and melt. If you're not using it and you want to store it away, just take the batteries out. Seriously, you will ruin so many clocks just leaving the batteries in, especially the old 9-volt types and the PP6s and like Bush radios and whatnot. They will just, and you've got battery acid and corrosion everywhere, and you've got to sit there with a little dab and white vinegar, and the only feelings you're going to have are just wanting to end your life because you're spending 6 hours just blotting rust. So here we are. Really jazzy 60s design. It looks like it's been pulled out of a mini metro. Truthfully told, it is quite bad. It's badly made. I took this apart and half the stuff, it was all factory and half the terminals were barely soldered on. It does have a surprisingly beefy speaker, which is completely invalidated by the point it's on the bottom, so you can't hear anything when you turn the radio on. If the radio works, I doubt this worked coming out the factory, to be honest. The long wave, medium wave splitter at the back. Got all these nice dials for tuning and volume and setting up your alarm in the morning. There should be, here we are. Yeah, it was hidden. Okay, so as you can see, it's got 4 hands: minute, second, minute, hour, and alarm. This is a 12-hour clock, so you can't obviously set it for a 24-hour alarm. Granted, that 24-hour alarm technology already existed way back in like the early 20s with clock technology, but here we are, whatever. So you can only set it for your morning or whenever it is you're waking up once a day, or it'll go off twice if you leave it on. You probably won't pick up anything on this anyway because all the radio channels have gone digital, so that's useless. The clock is tiny and mechanical, so if you want to adjust the speed because it's running too fast or too slow, you have to disassemble the whole damn thing, and to be honest, I just don't think it's worth that, because the slow fast, you're going to need the world's tiniest screwdriver to get in there, and I can guarantee you they probably don't make any like that anymore, so you're just better off taking off the whole case. I think I picked it up for about 20 quid in its current state. Probably massively overpaid for what is essentially a really heavy paperweight, which, to be honest, is most of my collection. But, you know, you see the aesthetics, you can't help yourself, and you get that little tickle in the back of your brain that says bye, bye, bye. So here we are. But let this be a warning. If you see one of these, just admire it from afar. Don't buy it. You'll never get this thing running. Chances are the whole battery bay will be completely corroded and rusted out. You can spend hours and hours and hours resoldering, putting on new terminals, doing whatever you want, and probably get nowhere. Which is like I did, because I realised half the components are absolute trash and just aren't worth replacing. I reckon you could probably invest about 30 quid's worth of components in here and then sell it for 45. If you want your profit margin to not even cover the time it took you to replace all the components, let alone the cost, well, that's your choice. So that wraps up that review of that particularly terrible clock. Pretty but bad, which is what I can say for most mid-century Asian clocks, especially French clocks. I'm looking at you, Mr. Purple. Terrible, terrible clock. So yeah, that's that. I don't know how to end videos. Bye.